All right, let's talk about job interviews in English. You know that moment, right? The interviewer leans in and says, "So, tell me about yourself." For so many of us, that's where the nerves kick in. But what if I told you that you could turn that moment of anxiety into your single biggest advantage? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to break down how you can absolutely master your interview introduction.
60 seconds. That's it. You've got about 1 minute to set the entire tone for the rest of that conversation. Seriously, what you do in that first minute can define the whole interview. And in those crucial 60 seconds, your self-introduction plays a huge role. It's not just the words you say, it's how you say them. When you deliver a clear, confident introduction, you're sending a powerful signal that you're professional, you're prepared, and you're the right person for this job.
So yeah, the stakes are high, but the solution, it's actually way simpler than you think. We're about to walk through a formula that will help you craft an introduction that isn't just okay, it's genuinely memorable.
See, the key isn't to memorize some long, complicated speech. Not at all. It's about having a simple, reliable structure you can lean on. This formula is designed to give you the confidence to stop stressing about what to say and start focusing on actually connecting with the person across the table. So let's reframe this whole thing. This is not a test. Think of your introduction as a short story, your professional trailer, if you will. It's designed to give a quick, compelling preview of who you are, and most importantly, why you are the perfect fit for this specific role.
And here it is, your winning formula. It's a simple 6-step flow. You start with a nice polite greeting, you state your name and background, then you briefly summarize your most relevant experience. From there, you highlight 1 or 2 key skills. Then, and this is crucial, you connect all of that directly to the company. And finally, you end on a strong, confident note. It's your roadmap to success every single time.
Now, a great story is always tailored to its audience, right? In an interview, that means tailoring it to where you are in your career. This formula is super flexible, so let's look at how it changes whether you're a recent graduate or a seasoned professional.
You can see there's a really clear shift in focus here. If you're a fresher, your story's all about potential. You're going to lean heavily on your education, any projects you've done, and your internships to show what you're capable of. But if you're an experienced pro, your story is all about proof. You're going to lead with your current role, your responsibilities, and most importantly, your key achievements.
Let's take a look at an example for a fresher. Notice how it kicks off with education, then pivots to a really specific project, that social media campaign, and then links that experience to a skill that's perfect for the job. It's a brilliant way to show what you can do, even if you don't have years of formal work experience under your belt.
Now, for an experienced pro, the approach is totally different. The story immediately leads with years of experience, and then, bam, a concrete, quantifiable achievement. Reducing processing time by 40%, that number tells a story of impact and value. And that's exactly what hiring managers are listening for.
Okay, so having a great story is half the battle, but delivering it well, that's the other half. Even the absolute best candidates can fall into a few common traps that can really weaken their introduction. So let's talk about what they are and, more importantly, how to fix them.
This is a classic. When we get nervous, what happens? We speed up. And if you're a non-native English speaker, talking too fast can make it really tough for the interviewer to keep up and appreciate all the great things you're saying.
The solution here is so simple, but so powerful. Just breathe. Deliberately practice putting a short pause between your sentences, or as you shift from one idea to the next. Not only does this make you way easier to understand, it actually makes you sound more thoughtful and confident. It's a game changer.
It is so tempting to write out every single word and just memorize it, right? It feels safer. But here's the problem. It almost always makes you sound robotic and unnatural. And worse, if you forget just one little word, the whole thing can completely fall apart. So, instead of a script, think in bullet points. Memorize your structure, the 6 steps we talked about, and the main idea you want to share for each step. This gives you the freedom to speak naturally, but still ensures you hit all of your most important points.
This is such a huge missed opportunity. When you give a generic one-size-fits-all introduction, you're basically telling the interviewer you haven't done your homework. It suggests you don't really care about this specific role.
And the fix is simple. Before every single interview, reread the job description. Pull out the top 3 skills they're looking for, and then make sure you mention those exact things in your intro. Customization is everything. All right, we've got the formula.
We know the common mistakes to avoid. Now let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle: practice. This is how we take all this great theory and turn it into a smooth, confident delivery when it really counts.
Here's your practice toolkit. 4 simple things. First, write out those bullet points, not a full script. Second, record yourself on your phone. I know it feels a little awkward, but listening to yourself is the fastest way to check your pacing and your tone. Third, practice with a friend to get some live feedback. And last but not least, always time yourself.
And when you're timing yourself, this is your target. You're aiming for somewhere between 45 and 90 seconds. That's the sweet spot. It's long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to keep your interviewer engaged and wanting to hear more.
Finally, I want you to remember this. Especially if English isn't your first language, the goal here is not perfect, flawless grammar. The goal is to be clear, professional, and confident. Trust me, interviewers are listening for the value you can bring, not for your vocabulary. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's the one achievement you will share in your next interview? Whether it's a project from school or a major win from your last job, what's that one thing that truly shows what you're capable of? Figure that out, build your story around it, and you are going to be absolutely ready to nail that introduction.